we did, essentially the mandate was to try to get a sense for nationally as well as some international cities, what are cities doing to incentivize and drive green business activity, either through policies, incentive programs, voluntary initiatives, just what can a city do to generate that kind of activity. And this was fascinating to get a sense for how different regions are approaching it. And we sort of tried to organize it in a way that would be useful to the city of Chicago to consider, what are our options outside of sort of a regulatory sphere to positively encourage green business activity.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then from there,
big report.
It was a big report, a half-inch report, which we can't show you because we were sworn to secrecy. But Karen, you're not with the city anymore, so maybe we could leak it or something.
Well, it's on my website.
So yeah, it's on our website. But no, the city was interested in how to conceptualize this relationship between themselves and the business community. And so we spent a lot of time looking at this question over the course of the summer and produced pretty interesting, a lot of recommendations, one of which was taken. The rest...
More than one.
Really?
And it informed a lot of other
Okay, it informed, well, Karen, okay. Oh, yeah, no, that's maybe the shift over there. We'll come back to Laura. So Karen Hobbs, at the time, was the first Deputy Commissioner of the Department of Environment and is now the founder of her own consulting business.
Correct.
You want to tell us a little bit about kind
Correct.
of consulting you do?
I'm basically doing consulting around climate change and green infrastructure and energy and water policy.
And the report for you, though, I mean, we'll follow this thread a little bit.
Well, I would actually step back a step and say that I think that project is a great example of Foresight's strength, which is that we had a little bit of funding from a foundation.
We're cheap, is what she's saying.
No.
Basically, we're really cheap.
We had a really vague idea of what we wanted someone to do, and we had a vague idea of deliverables, and we had very little time to oversee that grant. So we needed somebody that we could trust, who would do a really good job, and we needed somebody who could kind of say, after an hour-long meeting with 3 different people who all were just kind of spewing out different ideas, take it back and be able to say, so here's what I heard, and here are the 3 or 4 things we're going to focus on, and here's what you're going to get at the end of 3 months. And then who were able to actually spend the time to make that happen with very little oversight, again, from the city folks who are working on that. And we got a lot more than I think we ever imagined, because Foresight didn't just bring one discipline to that project, but they brought 10. And they didn't just bring one person, but they brought 20 because of, they pulled in different pieces of different folks across a range of disciplines. So I think that's what you do so well, which is take a project and just layer so many pieces onto it that it becomes much richer than the person who thought of it ever imagined it would be.
We have a hard time, I think, just answering simple questions. We like to make it.
Did I not answer a simple question? I'm sorry. I'm Karen Hobbs.
I was saying we have a hard time. You don't have a hard time. Yeah, and it was useful exercise though. I mean, for the city, because to us it's sort of I know it got passed on to different consultants and has gotten added on to, but I still think there's some good recommendations in there.
I think there's a lot of great recommendations, and I think that there's a lot of that work informed things like the Chicago Climate Action Plan, and it continues to inform the green business work that the city is doing.
Right.
Even if they can't say it was this page 4,302 of the Foresight report, literally, that underscores that, but just the thinking that went into that and the discussions that we had as a result.
I think we were asked to answer the problem, and we really wanted to help you guys conceptualize the answer to the problem, in addition to answer the problem, and which hopefully led to
which was frustrating at times too. Just answer the problem.
We tend to,
Make no sense.
Normal consulting issues come up, different kinds of communication styles and whatnot. But Karen, I'll just give a little bit of background about you. You worked in you worked at Open Lands. You've worked at Center for Neighborhood Technology. You worked in the Clinton White House.
Correct.
On the Committee on
Council on Environmental Quality.
Council on Environmental Quality. You were the first deputy commissioner. You worked extensively on the Chicago Climate Action Plan.
I did.
Just to give you a little bit of background.
I'm just trying to answer questions now.
I'm trying to do the quick sort of the holistic overview of where you came from. Laura, you graduated from the ERB program at the University of Michigan.
That's right.
And after we finished this notorious study, which is still top of mind, I'm sure, with the city people.
I think about it every day.
We did something else together.
Yes, we founded the Chicago Sustainable Business Alliance.
Excellent. Do you want to talk a little bit about what that was for you, what that was like?
Well,
besides being completely unexpected, perhaps?
it was very unexpected, but it was fortuitous timing, and it was kind of a perfect storm of many things, because, we just spent 8 weeks diving into what it means for an outside organization to support a community that is sort of independent of themselves. And then we said, well, we've been tying around with the idea of I'm speaking as Foresight. Foresight had been tying around the idea already about, we're already good at bringing people together. We do green drinks. We do great green drinks. That's a great community. Isn't there a role for that for business? You guys have been thinking about it for a long time. And, then we had sort of this institutional knowledge to actually really make it work for Chicago. I mean, we had a much better sense of where the holes were, what the opportunities were, who the players were, and of course this was 2006 when a heck of a whole lot was going on in the green business space in Chicago, when things were really booming. And so we just sort of hit the ground running, starting with business-oriented green drinks, which were already happening, Smart Business Hour, but we sort of packaged them under this Chicago Sustainable Business Alliance, started to put together a directory where people could find resources and information and connect to each other, started having a networking breakfast that was specific to businesses where they could come and learn from each other, learn about business topics related to whether it be sort of corporate sustainability or entrepreneurial efforts in Chicago. And we ran with it full tilt. We did a lot of really interesting things in that first several months. I was only there for a year. I can't believe it was only a year.
A formative year. I mean, I think part of it it's hard to think it was only 3 years ago, but how different the environment was then.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how unique those things were now, and they're less unique now, and we're doing different things now.